All right, so today what we're going to be doing is we are going to be making hot chocolate bombs. And with these, I'm just going to kind of go over all of the ingredients first because we're going to be making actually 3 different types. So a couple different ones. Even though these are typically around Christmas time, I love these also for the fall. So the pumpkin spice, this is like an amazing one. To use as like a candy melt. And then what I will actually do is I will add in cinnamon essential oil into that as like an extra drop just to amp up the flavor for that. And even with this, I will still probably be adding maybe just 1 larger marshmallow in it because who doesn't love marshmallows in their drinks? The next ones that we're gonna do are going to be these vanilla ones. So these ones here, the kids like love sprinkles, they love colors, and it's like that white chocolate flavor. So in this one, I'm actually not going to be putting any powders in it, but otherwise what would be really nice is like either if you have like a vanilla flavored MCT powder or vanilla collagen powder, this is like a great way to be adding that into this. And then you can always add in marshmallows as well with it. Then for the last version that we're gonna do is we're gonna do a keto version of it. So what we're gonna do is either you can grab like a 100% cacao bar, which these are actually really good. So if you're used to eating unsweetened chocolate, these are actually really good. Like you can't, I actually love these and I love eating these with just a little bit of coconut cream and they're perfect that way. Or a little peanut butter, awesome. So either or, you can either use like the Lily's, which is slightly sweetened by stevia, or you can do like 100% cacao. And for these ones, what we're gonna do is you can either, if you're like a coffee lover, you can either add in like a little scoop of espresso, or just like a instant coffee if you're looking for that. Or one of the things that I love to do is the MCT powder. So I like doing the chocolate one with the chocolate, and that's just adding in a little scoop along with either some mini marshmallows or like a larger marshmallow, depending on how it's all going to fit in. And then even with the chocolate one, what we're actually gonna do is we're gonna add in peppermint essential oil into that just to give it a little pepperminty flavor. You could also do that with the vanilla ones and add in some of the candy cane, like crushed candy cane, along with the marshmallows, and that will work out amazingly. So what we're gonna do is now we're going to start melting all the chocolate. So if you're like me, it's gonna be on a double boiler. Otherwise, if you have a microwave, go ahead and just either follow the instructions on the back for melting it. I usually add in a little bit of coconut oil just to kind of thin it out. So if you don't have coconut oil, any vegetable oil will also work. And let's get to it. Okay, so we've got all of our chocolates ready. We've got the dark chocolate that we have here. We have our vanilla with like confetti, and pretty much like do it to the consistency that you like. You'll see this one, even though I'd added more of the coconut oil, it's still a little slightly thicker consistency, which is fine. So what I'm gonna do now is go ahead and add in a drop of cinnamon bark essential oil. If you are adding essential oils in, these are always optional. And this is a great way to just kind of amp up the flavor. So I'm gonna go ahead and do 1 to 2 drops of it. And if you're adding essential oils, again, remember that they must be ingestible. So it will tell you on the bottle for if it is okay for internal use or not. So just make sure you do read the bottle. And you can already smell that. It smells so good. So even for the vanilla, you can add in cinnamon, you can add in peppermint, you can add in any of the other flavors as well too. So that's like a great way to add those in. And see, since we're using like essential oils, you don't have to get specific chocolate oils because you want to make sure that there isn't any water in it. Otherwise it's going to seize your chocolate, which is not what you're looking for. All right, and then now for the chocolate, I'm gonna do just 1 drop of peppermint. 1 drop is plenty. And that's where if you find that even 1 drop is a lot, what you can maybe do is like even try spearmint. Spearmint is a great option. Or just dip in a toothpick and then just twirl it around the chocolate. But it smells really good. And then I'm actually also gonna grab some crushed candy canes when we get to the next stage. But we have everything here. What I'm gonna do is start with the pumpkin spice one. So I got my little egg mixture. I find that just using a spoon is easier to just kind of put it into the mold, and make sure whatever mold you're using, it is like a food grade mold, and you can just kind of bring it up to the edges to make sure everything is kind of coated nicely. Doesn't have to be perfect. The more chocolate you get in your drink, why not? So just kind of make sure you leave enough room inside of there so that way you can fill it up with all your goodies. So in this one, we're gonna do 2, or we'll do like 4, so like 2 whole eggs of the pumpkin spice, and then we'll do 2 of the vanilla, and then the other one we will do all 4 of them as chocolate. And this is like a favorite, so depending on whatever you're using, this is a great one for getting the kids to help as well. So like once you have all of your eggs and everything kind of ready, what you can do is you can have like the kids kind of just make their own little creations and do their own little toppings for it. And then that way they get like a little surprise when they melt it in their hot chocolate or in their drink. And this is good where you can either warm it up with like almond milk, you can do whatever milk of choice you like, and then just kind of warm that up and dunk in one of these beautiful balls, and you're all set. And these are also really nice for gifting. So if you're looking to gift anything during the holiday season, this is perfect for that. Super easy to make. Maybe a little bit time consuming, but you can just kind of sit down and whip out a large batch at the same time. So this is where like the edges don't have to be perfect, because I will show you what we're gonna do with those afterwards. All right, so now for the next side, for the second side, we're gonna be doing the white chocolate. So this one is a little runnier, so we'll kind of see, just make sure you kind of grab out those edges. This one we may need to do like a second coating once this kind of cools down. But just kind of grab the back of the spoon, push it out all along the borders, and you're good. I'm gonna scoop out some of this extra. And this one I'm gonna do, so I have twin girls. They love candy canes and they love sprinkles. So what I'm gonna do for them, I probably should have made 6 of these because I'm sure my son will see it and he'll also want the same one. So we'll make an extra one for him. But this one is perfect where the kids love, who doesn't love colors, beautiful colors, fun stuff, sprinkles. We're gonna do a 3rd one, and then they're able to enjoy it themselves. And this is also nice where afterwards, once they're done and once they're actually sealed up, it's a great way to like allow them to maybe even paint it. So like grab like an old makeup brush or like a clean makeup brush, and then use like some of the glitter, food glitter, and you can always like pick colors. So like for Christmas time, you can do like a red and a green, or allow the kids to pick out whatever colors they want to choose, and that way they can just kind of paint the outside of the egg coating, and they get like that extra bit of uniqueness to it. All right, so this one's done as well. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and recoat the other white chocolate eggs. And you want to make sure that you do go all the way up to the edges because you are going to need those to seal the sides together. So what I might actually do is just kind of twirl these around. And then let them set in the fridge for a little bit. Just even like 5 minutes before you do like the second coating should be good enough. How beautiful is that, right? My pumpkin one's not so hot. I can feel like just from the weight of it that there's a lot of chocolate in there, but this is for all those pumpkin spice lovers. I'm just gonna do the same with this one too. And I'm gonna just go put this in the fridge while I get this coated up with the chocolate. All right, so now onto the chocolate. So this one, we have our, oh, I dropped some pumpkin in here. That's okay. We have our peppermint added into it. This one's also good, like if you wanted to do cinnamon in it, it's really good that way too. So whatever flavors, or if you don't even want any flavors in it, do what works for you. This one's probably, I would say, the best texture. This is the last one that I did. So third one's a charm. And do whatever shapes like you have. Like I know I have a lot more Easter stuff. So I have like bunnies, I've got like ducks. But if you have like balls, even the same ones that you use for bath bombs, as long as they're food grade that you can put in your chocolates and stuff in there, use those. Just kind of do with whatever shapes you kind of have already at home. They don't have to be perfect. Your kids are gonna love them anyway, as well as whoever you might be gifting these to. I'm sure they will appreciate the thought, as well as they're gonna taste just as good. So my sister had actually gone to a little weekend getaway, and they had gotten bath bombs, so they had gotten hot chocolate bombs from there, and she mentioned that they actually exploded in the hot chocolate. Comment below if any of you have experienced that or how you get that effect, because that would be so cool. I know my kids are always asking me, oh mom, let's do a science experiment, but they don't have much patience for me to get like all the baking soda in the water with the vinegar and waiting for it to explode. So there's usually a couple explosions on the way to the actual science experiment. Okay, so these are perfect. I think I might just add a little bit more chocolate into them right now to get that coating, so that way we don't have to do a second coating for this batch. All right, these look gorgeous. Okay, so I'm gonna refrigerate these ones, and let's see if the other ones are ready. All right, so now here comes the difficult part. We've gotten these out of the fridge. Let's try popping some of these out. Okay, so these ones that are nice and thick are coming out fairly easily. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start working with these, put these back to chill for a little bit longer, and bring them out when I am ready to do them. Okay, so you guys see that there's like these edges and stuff. You can break off some of these excess that's a little bit around the edges. Try not to break off too much, because what we're gonna do is I have a slightly warmed plate. I'm actually gonna just kind of wrap it around the plate to kind of get the chocolate to melt a little bit in those areas. and then to meld them together. I think I'm gonna have to warm the plate up a little bit more, but we're just gonna clean these up and we'll get that warmed. Okay, so I'm just warming these up by just placing it on the stove top a little bit to get that plate nice and warm. So I'm just gonna let it sit there for a minute. And then for these ones, we're not gonna be putting really anything other than some marshmallows in it. So we're all good there. I'm gonna grab a couple, stuff in as many as possible. And I'm gonna melt the other side. And then I'm just gonna hold it together. You can smell the cinnamon through it. You can smell it beautifully. So this is like gorgeous. And this is where you can decorate them afterwards. But again, try to be as quick as possible with them, just because you have the heat from your fingers that are coming on it as well, the heat from the plate that's there. So for the edges, you can always just kind of roll it on the plate to just kind of make sure that those edges get sealed, and then just let it sit. I'm just gonna hold it for a couple more seconds here and let it sit in there. I'm gonna grab the next one. And I'll get this side melting too as well at the same time by just letting it sit there. And if the plate kind of cools off in the meantime, just pop it back on top of like a hot plate or a stove, or you can pop it into the microwave just to make sure that it does retain that heat for it to nice and gluey. And again, if you have like any collagen powder that you wanted to add in or anything, or any flavorings, you can always add that in. Even if you wanted to do like a coffee or something, you can always do that too. So there is that one. So just kind of let that sit. Then what I like to do is for gifting them. So a couple things you can always like to add like that extra glowiness. For these ones, I would probably do like the gold glitter on it, but otherwise like to gift them, if you're doing them as like a rounder shape, or even with like the eggs, you can always like just pop them into like cupcake liners. And this is actually just a reused, you know, the Ferrero Rocher boxes that they come in. This is actually just reused from that. Clean it out, wash it out, just put in like a couple cupcake liners, and then put the eggs inside, and you are all set to go for little hot chocolate bombs. Perfect gift, a little red ribbon, and you're all set for a little date night gift or whatever you're looking for. I'm gonna grab the other ones and we'll go through some of those. But if any of you guys have any tips on how to unmold them easily, do let me know. All right, so we're gonna give these another try now to start popping them out. All right, so I did get these out. So like, see what I did, I put them in the fridge and then I left them upside down, and see how you can kind of see like the little air bubbles. It just kind of gets that little bit of that air bubble, so that way it's easier. You kind of know when it's ready to pop out. So that's how we have gotten out the chocolate ones. Look at how gorgeous those look. So I'm going to be getting ready to pop the rest of these out and fill them in. Look at the speckles on that, gorgeous. So these ones are slightly thinner, but they are just as good. All right, so we've got a couple, we've got enough to kind of pop out here. And I'm just gonna do the halves. You guys know how I connect them up. But basically for the chocolate ones, for the vanilla ones, what I'm gonna do is just a few marshmallows in here. They're kind of all melted together. It's hot over here, so yep. And then for these ones, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just take a little scoop. So I'm not gonna even do like a full scoop. I'll do about that much I'll put in maybe a little bit more. Whatever you want. If you want even just hot chocolate powder, because we did like the darker chocolate, hot chocolate powder would be great if you're wanting to sweeten it up. Otherwise, the MCT powder, protein powder, whatever else you're looking to flavor your drink, coffee, great option. Or you can also mix and match. And actually what I'm going to do is for the vanilla ones, I know the kids like love candy canes, so I have a couple kind of crushed, cut up here. So I'm just going to drop a couple in there for them and then place the marshmallows over top and then pretty much seal it, and you are all set with a beautiful speckled egg. So I'm going to go ahead and seal those afterwards, and we are all set. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you guys have any other videos that you'd like to see for the rest of the season or any holiday ones, let me know and I would be happy to do a DIY on it.